Everybody keeps asking how we fix the world. How do we reduce addiction? How do we lower crime? How do we improve mental health? How do we help people heal from trauma? And don't misunderstand me, these are important conversations, but they're all happening after the damage has already been done. We're trying to repair adults while barely asking what kind of childhood created them. I've been talking for a long time about the difference between patriarchal and matriarchal societies, and I think that people really misunderstand what we mean when we say that. I'm not talking about women ruling over men. I'm talking about where a civilization places its attention. A patriarchal society is constantly reacting. Something breaks, then they scramble to fix it. A matriarchal society thinks very differently. It asks, how do we protect the conditions that allow healthy people to grow in the first place? That's a completely different way of seeing the world. And then I came across what Iceland did. Back in the late 1990s, Iceland had one of the highest rates of teenage drinking in Europe. Nearly half of their teenagers reported getting drunk every single month. Smoking was common, drug use was increasing. The awareness campaigns were not changing much. Most governments would have responded exactly the way that governments do. More campaigns, more punishment, more warnings, more adults telling teenagers to make better choices. Instead, Iceland asked a better question. What kind of childhood makes those choices less attractive to begin with? Because that question changes everything. Suddenly you're no longer fighting the behavior, you're looking for the environment that created it. Researchers discovered something that honestly should not surprise us. The strongest protective factors were not lectures. They weren't scare tactics. Children who had close relationships with their parents were doing better. Children who spent time with their families were doing better. Children involved in music and sports and art and community activities were doing better. Children who felt connected didn't need to spend as much time looking for somewhere else to belong. So Iceland changed what they invested in. The government made extracurricular activities accessible to everyone. They encouraged families to eat dinner together. They encouraged parents to spend more evenings with their children. Communities worked together instead of leaving every family to figure it out alone. In other words, they strengthened childhood, and the numbers speak for themselves. Teen drinking plummeted, daily smoking nearly disappeared, drug use dropped dramatically. Why? Because they didn't spend all of their energy treating symptoms. They strengthened the foundation. This is exactly why I've been trying to explain when I talk about the return of the feminine. The feminine has always understood something that many of us have forgotten. The child is not separate from the future. The child is the future. Every inventor or teacher or politician or artist or addict or criminal or healer, every one of them was once somebody's little boy or little girl, every single one. So why does our attention begin after they've become adults? Why are we willing to spend billions repairing broken adults while hesitating to invest in healthier childhoods? It does not make any sense unless there was another agenda, but that's for another day. Iceland, it seems, has this habit of understanding that real change doesn't happen by endlessly arguing over symptoms. Think about their history. When the women of Iceland wanted equal rights in the 70s, they didn't wait around hoping someone in power would eventually do the right thing. They organized. They walked out. The country changed because ordinary people changed the foundation beneath it. And now here they were again, looking beneath the surface instead of getting distracted by the obvious problem. There is so much wisdom in that, because every civilization eventually reflects whatever it chooses to nurture. If it nurtures profit over people, it will reflect that. If it nurtures endless productivity while families are suffering, it will reflect that. If it nurtures healthy children, however, it will reflect that too. This is why I keep saying that we need the return of the feminine. Not because masculinity is the enemy. A healthy civilization has always needed both. The masculine builds, protects, creates structure. The feminine keeps asking the questions that determine whether any of it will last. What are we growing? What are we nurturing? What will this become 20 years from now? That's the question that we've stopped asking. We've become obsessed with fixing what's already broken. Meanwhile, the future has been sitting in classrooms, playing on playgrounds, waiting at the dinner table, asking for our attention. If we want a different world, we don't start by fixing tomorrow's adults. We start by protecting today's children. Because that's where every civilization begins. Every single one.